Good morning, everyone. I can't see any face apart from us and Marianne, but you are really welcome. Hello, Luciana. Well, my name is Maite Irazabal, and he's Alejandro Quinteros. And today it's with us, Marianne Vasquez from the DLR and representative of the service facility. In 1 minute, because there's still people who's connecting, we are going to start. Please advise that this training is being recorded in order to upload the information to our YouTube channel, so you can see it whenever you want. So in 1 minute, we'll start with Marianne, who's going to introduce the first part of the webinar. Hello. I can see your name, but I see your surname. It's Morales. Welcome. Okay. Can you see our presentation? Great. So, look, there's still people connecting. One thing is that we can't reply the chat. So Marianne, it's going to be our partner in Germany. She's going to reply all your comments. And in case she couldn't, we are going to reply it when this webinar finished, maybe tomorrow. And tomorrow, of course, we are going to send the presentations and the link for the webinar in Spanish and in English, recorded in and uploaded in our YouTube channel. So maybe, Marianne, it's okay for you to start? Okay. Marianne,
yes, it is.
From the DLR and representative of the service facility, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Very nice. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm happy to be here today, and I have the honor to welcome you all. I have been cooperating with Latin American and Caribbean countries for more than 20 years, so I'm always especially grateful when I can support the bi-regional cooperation between our two regions, Europe and Latin America and the Caribbean. Well, today I'm here, as Maite already said, on behalf of the International Service Facility of the European Commission. The service facility aims to support the European Commission in reinforcing the international policy dialogue and in identifying opportunities for increased cooperation. I'm happy about your participation and registration to this workshop, which shows the cooperation interest from your countries with European institutions, and at the same time the existing demand in cooperate. Well, originally the objective of this training was to work in small groups. However, when we started thinking about it and sent out the invitations, we received from all Latin American and Caribbean countries more than 1,000 registrations after a few days only. So we had to reconsider the concept a little bit and decided to offer 4 single-day training sessions instead of a 2-day hands-on course to be able to respond to all the demand. So today we will not be working on case studies, but let me assure you that Maite and Alejandro are really a very, very good team and will do their best to guide you through the process of successful proposal writing. Well, said that, I would like to share with you 2 slides now before giving the floor back to Maite. As you know, Horizon Europe is not the first framework program coordinated by the European Commission. Its predecessors, Horizon 2020 and FP7, have already shown how powerful these programs are when it comes to promoting collaboration in science, technology, and innovation. In the following, I will show you some examples proving the impact of these programs in the past. In FP7 and Horizon 2020, 1.5 million collaborations have been coordinated with more than 150 countries. The outcomes were 3 times more often among the top 1% cited publications compared to the output generated only in the member states. 48.2 million euros were directed to research on corona just 7 days after the first COVID case was reported in the EU. And 84% of the investments from the EU framework programs addressed the sustainable development goals and 30% the climate change. Horizon 2020 received the double of proposals compared to the previous program FP7. And thanks to Horizon 2020 and to FP7, there is an estimated labor productivity increase of 19% in the funded companies that participated in the programs. As you see, international cooperation has been one of the fundamental principles since the very beginning of the EU research framework programs. The intention of international cooperation is to tackle global societal changes together, to provide access to the latest knowledge and the best talents worldwide, and to improve the supply and the demand for innovative solutions. With these, I think, very important words, I would like to give now the floor back to Maite. I wish you a very successful and interesting training now, and of course, later on, very successful projects. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And in order to make a interactive webinar, we are going to make you being part of this training. So during the training, we are going to ask you some questions and you are going to play with us. We are going to use it's not an app, it's a web page that it's called menti.com. So I invite you all to join to menti.com. Alejandro is going to put the web page in the chat so you can access. And when you go to a web page, it's okay. You are going to see 2 questions. The idea of the questions is to know, first of all, where are you from? And second, it's to know which sector do you belong to. For us, it's really important to know if you are part of an academy, like a research, or you belong to the International Cooperation Office, or you belong to an office of any government of any LAC or other country. Maybe you are an NCP, a national contact point from Horizon Europe or Horizon 2020. You used to be an NCP, or finally, you could belong to the private sector. So in order to start this game, you have to use the QR code. You can scan your cell phone in the QR, or you can put the code number. Alejandro is going to put it in the chat. It's 788414339. He's going to copy in the chat. So if you could access to the menti.com, the web page. Okay. You have to, I'm going to use my cell phone. I'm going to play with you. And the web page, let me tell you that, advise us how many people it's playing with us. So please try to be involved. You can open the question because
now you can see the question in your cell phone, and you have to choose where are you from. Thank you.
It's only 8 people replying. Okay, the number is increasing. There are people from Uruguay. Welcome. For the Uruguayan people and the Spanish speakers from Ecuador also and Panama. I'm going to say that tomorrow we are going to send information in Spanish and the links for our YouTube channel where it's recorded the training from yesterday and last week.
Sorry, the people that answer others, we would like that they put in the chat, where are you from, to know your country, please. Thank you.
And I think I saw so many faces familiar from the Caribbean countries that are not replying this poll.
Maybe they are replying the chat. Wait a minute. Aruba.
And Curaçao. I know.
Germany, Curaçao.
I already know your faces, so
Aruba,
great.
yes.
In Germany.
We have to add Aruba, sorry, was a mistake. Germany, Curaçao, perfect. Thank you. Now we will join the next question.
So now you have to reply if you belong to university. It's the winner ever in all the webinars. But I know that some people are from that sector that it's replying nowadays now. So this webinar, I'm going to reply in order to change the poll. Okay. Great. University in all the webinars, it's the winner. But it's good to know. Yes, people from funding agencies, I think, are from the Caribbean countries. So maybe we can start with the webinar. Okay, we have already asked you these icebreaker questions. So those are the questions. So let's start it. What is Horizon Europe? Wait a minute. Horizon Europe, it's the 9th framework program for research and innovation of the European Union. And the period of Horizon Europe, it's from January of this year to 2027 to December 2027. It's 7 years period. It's the ninth framework program. That word, I hate it. So maybe I'm going to be like in a slow motion with that word. Sorry for that. It will be the fundamental instrument to carry out research and development policies in the European Union and also here in our countries. And its general objective is to achieve scientific, technological, economic, and social impact on the European investments, research, and innovation, thus strengthening the scientific and technological basis and promoting the competitiveness of all the member states of the European Union. Here you are going to read a lot of European Union, but our countries are part of this kind of programs. So this program is organized by the European Union, but as we could participate, we didn't put in the presentation that it's the objective is to achieve our scientific and technological and economical, social, blah, blah, blah. But it's going to be a part of the objective. Our countries are also part of the objective. And the budget that for the period, for this 7 years period, it's that really big amount in million euros. So Horizon has 3 pillars. The first one is excellence science. The second one are the global challenges. And the third one is European innovative. So what does it mean, excellent science? Through the European Research Council, it will be fund research projects at the frontier of knowledge, designed and led by research. So academy, you have to be aware here because you are a main actor in this kind of program. It will be support the professional development and training of research staff through the international and cross-sector mobilities activities on the Marie Sklodowska reactions program. And we invest in improving and optimizing transnational access to world-class research infrastructures. This is really important.
Well, we have the second pillar, global challenge and European industry competitiveness. This is the name of the second pillar. It will finance research that address social challenge, strengthen industry technological capacity, and establish mission with ambitious goal through our global challenge. Here you will find the cluster, the six cluster that the Horizon program have. The six cluster are: the first one is health, the second is culture, creativity, and inclusive society. The third is civil security for society. The fourth is digital industry and space. The fifth is climate, energy, and mobility. And the last one is food, bioeconomy, natural resource, agriculture, and environment. These are the six clusters that you will find the calls that the consortium will join and present your presentation. It was proposal, thank you. It will support the creation of European association or European partnership with the member state and the industry to work together on research and innovation. It will include the Joint Research Center that will assist the European Commission and national government in their decision making by providing scientific evidence and technical support.
The third one is the pillar of innovative Europe. What this means? It aims to make Europe a pioneer power in market-making innovation and in the growth of innovative small and medium enterprises through the European Innovation Council. So we have to be aware that this is one of the main actors in this third pillar, the SME. It will support leading innovators, entrepreneurs, small and medium enterprises, and scientists with ambition to grow on an international scale. These three pillars will be based on a horizontal program that in the next slide, we are going to show the three pillars and the horizontal program. And it means to expand participation and strengthening the European research area dedicated to helping the European member states in the effort to develop their national research and innovation potential, and especially to those states with the lowest performance in research and innovation to improve their participation in Horizon Europe. So it's really important to be aware that research, innovation, small and medium enterprises are focused, European Union, it's focused on developed data.
Well, here you have the image of the Horizon Europe program. You have the pillar 1, excellent science. Here you will find the European Research Council, Marie Sklodowska actions, and research infrastructure. In the pillar 2, global challenge and European industry competitiveness, you will have the 6th cluster and the Joint Research Center. In the pillar 3, you have the innovative Europe, and you will find the European Innovation Council, European Innovation Ecosystem, our European Institution of Innovation and Technology. As Maite said, the 3 pillars will be based on a horizontal program that is widening participation and strengthening the European research area, and you will find the widening participation and spreading excellence and reforming and changing the European research and innovation system.
So, as I already mentioned, we are going to play a lot during this webinar with you. So we have to go again to the Menti app, to the Menti web page. Sorry, I'm going to say app because I always make that mistake. So you have to go to the menti.com again, and you are going to reply the question about which of these 3 pillars that we have already presented to you, it's the one from your main interest. You want to work in this pillar. So this is the QR. You can scan with your cell phone, or you can put it there. You can dial that number, that code.
The code is in the chat, but I say 30509668. Please join. In a few minutes, we will be join the question and the answer, of course.
We are 2 only, including me. So maybe if you could reply those questions for us will be really useful. Okay, so you have to reply which of these pillar from the Horizon Europe, it's the one who interests you the most. Okay, great. Thank you.
We have 8, 9, 10 answers. Pillar 1 and pillar 2.
Pillar 3, it's in all the webinars, the questions are more or less the same, and the public, it's more or less the same. Today we know that English webinar is going to work. The public, it's going to be less. We have already know that we have less people than in the other ones, but the questions are already are the same. Okay, we can continue with the webinar. Thank you for replying.
Well, these are the objectives of the Horizon Europe program. In science and technology, the objective is both science and technology excellence in the European Union and strengthen the European research area. In the society, address political priorities, including green and digital transition and the sustainable development goals. And in the sector of economy, both acceptance of innovation, competitiveness, and employment in Europe. Here you have a word or expression of Mariah Gabriel, European Commission for Innovation, Research, Culture, Education, and Youth, that say that the program aimed at giving Europe a new push to a global position. Horizon Europe is to be the biggest and most ambitious European research innovation program ever. It built on the success of Horizon 2020 and improved it further by fostering a strength, support to breakthrough innovation through the European Innovation Council, by creating greater impact through research and innovation mission, by strengthening partnership landscape.
Okay, our vision for this 9th program is that it's the European key funding program for research and innovation, tackles climate change, helps to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And here it's really important that when you present to a call and you write your proposal, in case you are working on one of the Sustainable Development Goals, you have to name it. We are working on the number of the Sustainable Development. Also, it boosts the European competitiveness and growth, facilitates collaboration, and strengthens the impact of research and innovation in developing, supporting, and implementing European policies while tackling global challenges. Collaboration, it's the key word here because we are going to collaborate with European institutions, and European institutions are going to collaborate with us. That means we are going to be all partners of the consortiums. We are going to see it in a few minutes. Also supports the creation and better diffusion of excellent knowledge and technologies, that it's really important. Create jobs, will engage the European talent pool, and also the talent pool from these countries, from this region, from Latin America and the Caribbean countries. Boost economic growth, promote industrial competitiveness. Sorry for my English.
And my English too, sorry.
And optimizes investment impact within a strengthened European research area. This is also really important because all the partners in the different consortiums, they create jobs. You are going to see it in a few minutes, but the part of the jobs, I think it's really important for our countries. And also, during Horizon 2020, that was the 8th framework program from the European Commission and European Union, they decided to make a poll in order to know how to improve for the next program, for this program. So they make some lessons learned. The first one from Horizon 2020 was that people think that it is important to support the breakthrough innovation. So nowadays in Horizon Europe, it is created the European Innovation Council. In Horizon 2020, they mentioned that it's really important to create more impact through the mission orientation and citizens' involvement. Nowadays, we have European missions. In Horizon 2020, during the poll, one of the lessons learned was that it is important to rationalize partnership landscape. So nowadays, we have the new approach to partnerships. In Horizon 2020, they mentioned that it's really important to reinforce openness. So nowadays, we have a really strong program in open science policy. In Horizon 2020, another lesson learned was that it's really, and this is really important for us, it was really important to strengthen international cooperation. So nowadays in Horizon Europe, they extended the association possibilities. So for us, that we do not belong to Europe, it's really important, it's key. And finally, in Horizon 2020, they asked that it's really important to encourage participation. So nowadays, the excellent, they try to spread the excellence. So who can participate in this framework program? The key word is that you must have, how do you say personalidad jurídica? Well, you have to be a legal institution belonging to the academy, the government, or the private sector. In that link, you can see the list of third countries who can participate and receive funds. So the structure of the consortiums that are being formed, it's made by the university, who creates knowledge, governmental institutions, and the private sector that in the cases who correspond made the, I don't know, the technology and spread it to the market. So who can participate? Any legal entity, that's the key word, established in the member states of the European Union, different associated states, or third countries like us. Who are the institutions? Universities, research groups, large companies, and small and medium enterprises also, and of course, that we have already mentioned, associations and groups of companies, research centers, technology centers, public administration. But all institutions, it's compulsory to have legal entity. So here in this presentation, we planified to make a 5 minutes break, but we're not going to make it nowadays, maybe in 10 minutes. So we continue with the poll, and now the question is, if you have experience in these kind of programs, could be in the 7th framework program and the 8th, that is Horizon 2020. I know that my friends from the Caribbean countries that I used to talk a lot with them, I laugh on me because that word, so sorry for the word framework. Now I said correct. So you can scan it again, the QR code, or you can put it you can dial the code of the number code.
8821333 and 7 is the last number. I will put in the chat to everyone.
The idea of these questions is to, first of all, do not talk alone, because we are in the virtual world nowadays, but it's really boring and we don't know the feedback. So for us, first of all, it's a feedback from you, and also it's information that we need in order to improve our work in the future, in order to know which are the sectors in the different countries of this region who needs to be supported by us, and who wants to be supported, who wants to know more information about these programs. So maybe we can start with the poll. So now you have to reply if you have experience in the previous framework programs or you don't. One of the yes was mine, sorry for that. I'm spoiling it. And the no's, always it's the winner. So it's good for us to know that it's a no, because we know that we have to work a lot. But it's really good to have 2 yes, because some of you, I don't know who, but it's good to be in a different place. Okay, people who reply no,
don't worry.
Don't worry, because this is the first step in order to change your answers in the near future. So maybe we can continue with the webinar. Okay.
Now we will talk about the overview of funding lines and TRL. What are the type of action that will be in the Horizon Europe program? You will have research and innovation action that will be available for collaborative research projects, tackling clearly defined challenge which can lead to the development of knowledge or new technology. This is what will be the funding or the financial to this type of actions. And who can present to this type of action, consortium of partners from different country, industry, and academy with minimum of 3 legal entities established in 3 member states or associate country, 3 member states, of course, of the European Union. No, this is important to know because this is a important step that you will have to do when you present and when you make the consortium. Now, then we will have the innovative action, IA. This is the acronym of innovation action, and this will be founding available for closer to the market activities, including prototyping, testing, demonstrating, piloting, scaling up for new or improved products, process, or service. This is a different from the innovation action and the research action, that in the innovation action, you will be more closer to the market activity, yes? And who can join or who can apply for these actions? A consortium, again, for partners from different countries that will have to have industry and academy and government, and they have to have minimum of 3 legal entities established in 3 member states or associate countries. Then you have the coordination and support action, CCA, and they will be available for action consisting in primarily of accompanying measures such as the coordination and networking of research and innovation projects, program, and policies. And who can apply? Single entities or consortium for partners from different country, industry, and academy. And here you will have to find one legal entity established in 1 member state of the European Commission or associate country. Here you will have all the action that you will have in the Horizon Europe. You will have the collaborative project and the individual project. In the collaborative project, you will have, as we explained in the last presentation, research and innovation action, RIA, coordination and support action, innovation action. In the collaborative project, you will have the Maria Slodowska-Curie action, and then you will have the staff exchange, the co-founding of regional, national, and international program co-found, and the doctoral network, and the European Commission mission, and the European Union partnership. And how is the modality of the participation? It's a formal participation with the grant agreement, and you will have a coordinator, a partner, associate party, and third party in this, consortium. And in the Maria Slodowska-Curie, you will have a host institution that will sign grant agreement and employee contracts. But you don't have only collaborative projects. You have individual project, and individual project you have the European Research Council, and in the Maria Slodowska-Curie action you will have the postdoctoral fellowship.
So as Alejandro mentioned, TRL is the technology readiness level. As you can see in the image, the TRL number 1, it's, for example, when you are doing an academic research, and it's the basic technology research. And the last TRL, it's the 9th. It's when you put the product in the market and you commercialize it, okay? So technology readiness level, it's used as a measurement of the maturity level of particular technologies in Horizon Europe. They use this, this measure in order to be equal for everyone, okay? Many of the calls, topics have defined the TRL at which the implementation, sorry for that, of the proposal is intended to start, as well as targeted the TRL. So what does mean? It means that in the call, you will find the TRL expected. So you have to be aware of this table. I know a lot of you are aware. And don't worry in case you don't, because one of your partners of your consortium must domain this kind of knowledge and yes, and language also. Technology readiness level also, this measurement system provide a common understanding of the technology status and addresses the entire innovation chain. By evaluating a technology project against the parameters of each technology readiness level, one can assign a TRL rating to the project based on its stage of progress. There are 9 technology readiness levels, and as I already explained, TRL 1 begin to the it's the lowest, and TRL 9 is the highest TRL. So TRL business plan and the business plan. What this means: the highest technology readiness level means a more business-oriented project. Why? Because I'm transferring my product to the market and I want to sell it. That's why. Close to, I'm spoiling myself. So it's close to the market, and this kind of projects means that, for example, for the RIA actions in the proposal, they are going to say TRL expected it's 8. But for RIA, in general, the TRL that they work, it's from the 6th to the 9th. So we have already asked you some questions. We are going to try not to be boring you and try that you don't reply your job emails and be here with us.
And be involved in the workshop.
We are going to ask you another question that is for the ones who reply yes. In which stage? I don't know if it was the right question, so I'm going to wait for the question. But for the ones who replied no, that you don't have experience in Horizon 2020 in the 7th framework program, what you can reply is from your personal experience, okay, from other kind of projects that maybe you use this kind of technology. Please, if you don't have experience, one of our main objectives here is encourage you to participate, to start researching information, to contact us, ask for questions, ask for meetings. We have already met a lot of you, but we are pleased to continue working with you. Our idea is to work as a team. In the region, we are a team. Yesterday, when we finalized the last Spanish webinar, we encourage people to work as a team, and they make, and it's good to know, they made a lot of network in the chat. They exchange emails, contacts. Why? Because we could be partners. People from Jamaica, I have already read it in the chat, could be partners from Uruguay, from Colombia, from Ecuador, from any of our countries, and of course, from the European ones. But maybe if the Jamaica partner here doesn't know anyone in Europe, but has the capacities, the natural resources, I don't know, has something that it's really interested for the consortium, you can be part of the consortium. So it's good to know for you that you can make network in the chat, exchange your emails, your phones, your contacts, your institutions that you belong to. So we have 5, maybe you can reply more, but it's okay. So for Horizon and for other kind of projects in your working lives, okay. The answer is 1. In which stage of the process of writing your proposals you are nowadays? but it's only 3 questions. I'm not writing, I'm not replying, sorry. Yes, great. I know, I'm pretty sure that you have already write another proposal for other kind of projects. So you have to think like that. We have already write proposals for other projects. Could be a university project, a scientific project, governmental project who wants to cooperate with, I don't know, another country here in this region. Any kind of project you have experience in writing. So now it's better. Yes. Great.
No, it's important to say that this number we had in the last webinar, so it's something that the Latin American and Caribbean countries have to improve.
We are in the same stage.
Yes.
So it's a teamwork.
Yes,
we
exactly.
have to do it all together in order to increase our participation, the international cooperation that from these countries in the international cooperation with European countries. So maybe we can continue. We have 10 answers. We are 35, I think, so it's a great number.
I don't know if you're agreeing. Maybe we can make the break now.
Yes.
Or no, because we have.
We are going to make a 5 minutes break, and we come back in 5 minutes. Yes. We are going to put a clock. So in 5 minutes, we'll be here. Please remember that you can, and it's important because I'm watching the chat. And for you and for us, but for you especially, it's really important that you exchange your names, institutions, the sector you belong to, your emails, of course, in order to could start making network here. So see you in 5 minutes. Okay. Hello, Luciana. You're the only brave who turns off your on your camera. Well, we are going to continue with the presentation. We have already asked you that question. So
now,
yes.
Now we will have to talk about the evaluation process, criteria, and scores that you will have in your project. First, we have to know that there are 3 evaluation criteria for full proposal. Sorry if my English is not good, but I will be talk a lot, and I hope they will be fine. The first evaluation criteria is excellence. The second one is impact, and the third one is equality and efficiency of implementation. We will be talking about a lot, in the workshop about these 3 evaluation criteria. I will repeat. The first one is excellent, the second one is impact, and the third is implementation. As we see, the criteria are adopted to each type of action as specified in the work program. We will find the work program in the call that the consortium will be present. An exception is the ERC, which use a different set of criteria. This is the evaluation process that the project will be doing in all the life of the process. The first step is that the commission receive the proposal and make the eligibility check. They will be study if the project is admissibility and the eligibility check. Yes. And they will be give the project to one expert, one individual expert that will be make the individual evaluation. That is the second step. The individual evaluation will be done for an expert, independent expert, that they will be read all the project and put numbers and they make a score of in this three criteria that will we talk last: excellent, impact, and implementation. When the individual when the individual evaluator is finished their task, a consensus group will be joined and they will be evaluate again the project, and they will be marked again all the projects to give a final note and to give to the panel report their project and their proposal for all the projects. Finally, the panel review all the process that the individual and the consensus make, and make an evaluation summary report that will be given to the commission to give the final rank list to give the financing to the project that will have the last score.
So here the image, it's not clear. I don't know why. I'm going to change it when I'll send it to you. But here what means it's the admissibility, the eligibility, and the scope check. What these three terms means. Admissibility is checked by the agency who receives the project. It's must the project who is received the paper must be readable, accessible, and printable. What that means? This slide, it's not printable, for example, okay? So this slide, it's going to be deleted of your proposal. Why? Because we have missed that this balloon, it's in front of some important words. So this slide, it's not admissible. So this is a good example for you to understand it, what this means. It has to be all the information completed. If the call asks you specific points, you have to complete the points who are asked in the proposal, okay? Of course, that it's really important to know that all the proposals have a page limit. In most of the cases, it's 45 pages. Not in all of them, but pages, for example, 46 to other ones, that if you present a proposal with more than 45 pages, from 46 to the last one, it's going to be marked with a watermark. What that means? That means that it's not going to be read for the evaluator. So that part, it's not going to exist. So it's really important that people who present here have the skills of being to write I don't know how to say it in English, like to make good resumes, to include all the key information that it's not included in the projects, do not exist in the future. And this is really important for you to know in the project, and of course in the budget. So in the budget, when you planified what you are going to do, the activities, etc., you have to think about all the budget that it's going to be needed for the project. And it's really important in the cases that the call asks for to include a plan of exploitation and dissemination results. Why? Because as we have already mentioned, society, it's included in this framework program. So we have to disseminate information with the society. One of the partners, in most of the cases, it's the partner related to the communication of the project. Communication of the projects, it's really important in order to make a web page. It's not compulsory, but some projects have a web page, social networks, in order to could make visible what they are doing for the society and with the society. Also, the eligibility check by the agency, that means that the minimum number of partners as set in the consortium conditions has to be included. The minimum number, it's 3, but I check some in some, there are 2 web pages that for you are going to be your key instrument. One is the Funding Contenders portal, and the other one, it's Cordis, that it's the repository of all the projects that that are already done and the ones who are being executed nowadays. For me, Maite, Cordis, it's a really good tool in order to search partners. We are going to see it in a few minutes, but it's also an instrument to know how to other consortiums, how to distribute. They distribute the budget. It's like a map of the different calls that are being done in the past. So the minimum amount or number of partners in the consortium, it's another compulsory and important thing that you have to be aware. Another criteria may apply on a call basis as set in the call condition. And out of scope means that you need to check the scope of your proposal that you are going to apply for. A proposal will only be deemed ineligible in clear-cut cases. So it's really important to know that.
Now we will talk again about the evaluation criteria. Criteria, thank you. The evaluation criteria are adopted to each type of action and specified in the relevance of, in the work package. Now we talk about the relevance of innovation. Innovation management is a process which requires an understanding of both market and technical problems, with a goal of successfully implementing appropriate creativity ideas. You have a typical output with new or improved product, service, or process, and for the consortium, it's allowed to respond to an external or internal opportunity. I will repeat again and again and again the 3 criteria. I am right, no? Yes. Excellent, impact, and implementation. These are the 3 criteria that we will be talking about a lot in the workshop, and I hope that all know this word. I saw that Luciana is up the hand. But
Luciana, you can't raise your hand, yes, because we can't reply you now. Maybe in the break, or you can ask your questions in the chat. If there's any problem, you have to write it in the chat. So Marianne will send me a WhatsApp, and we have to be, we will be aware of what's happening. Sorry that we can't make it like a ping pong. But in the break, maybe we spend 1 minute in order to read the chat.
Continue.
So, evaluation criteria. There are 3 main terms that Alejandro already mentioned. Excellence, it's the first one, as an evaluation criteria. What does means excellence? Excellence means that it's clarity and the pertinence of the project objectives and the extent to which the proposed work is ambitious and goes beyond the state of art. This is really important because if your proposals goes beyond the state of art, it's a criteria in the evaluation that the evaluator is going to make for you and your project as an excellent project, okay? The soundness of the proposed methodology, the methodology, it's really important. You have to include the underlying concepts, the model, the assumptions, the interdisciplinary approaches, the appropriate consideration of the gender. Oh, I was the ambassador of the gender in the 3 previous webinars, and today it's going to be the first one that I'm going to do the same. So gender equity, it's a really important aspect to include in your proposal. What that means? That means that if your team, the team that it's part of the consortium, must not be formed by, for example, 80 women and 20 men. No. The numbers must be more or less the same in that part. Also, if you make studies, you are a scientific who belongs to a laboratory that your happy place, that's your happy place, and you're going to study some things about anything, I don't know how to say it. I'm not a scientific, so you are going to study, for example, I don't know, I'm going to the social area, I get out the laboratory, but you study, for example, the the children's of 3 years old in the kindergarten, in the kindergarten. So, and I don't know what they do in the kindergarten, I don't know. But you have to study, the important thing here is that you have to study 3 girls, 3 boys of 3 years old, the same characteristics. So gender equity, it means more than gender equity in the terms that we are aware of. It means in terms of the studies we made. It means in terms of everything here, okay? Also, the dimension in research and innovation content, your projects must be innovative. That's really important. The quality of the open science, you have to include sharing and management of the research outputs and engagements that we have already mentioned, the engagements of the citizens, the civil society, and the users were appropriate. So involve society in your calls, it's compulsory. Oh, not compulsory, but it's really important in order to have an excellent criteria evaluation. So the second criteria is the impact. What means impact? Impact means that credibility of the pathways to achieve the expected outcomes and impacts specified in the work program, and the likely scale and significance of the contributions due to the project. Impact in this kind of projects, it's really important. So if you are going to make, I don't know, a cell phone, that is the thing I'm watching my phone, the laboratory, the people who create the cell phone, that makes an impact in our daily lives. Cell phone, it's the thing I'm watching, but impact could be in, I don't know, in our daily lives, things that I couldn't imagine, but all our daily life has science. So you have to make an impact, okay? Sustainability and quality of the measures and to maximize expected outcomes and impacts as set out in the dissemination and exploitation plan, including communication activities. Dissemination and exploitation plan, it's really important. It's really important that in those documents you include the impact that the project is going to make in the things that are going to make an impact. And the last one, the third criteria of evaluation, it's the quality and efficiency of the implementation. What this means? It means that the quality and effectiveness of the work plan, the assessment of the risk, and appropriateness of the effort assigned to the work packages and the resources overall. Capacity and role of each participant and extent to which the consortium as a whole bring together the necessary expertise. So here it's all the members and the institutions who form the consortium, they have to be a team. And they have to work in synergia, and all of them, imagine them that a puzzle that make the whole thing. I have capacities for, I don't know, giving talks, for example. Other partner have capacities to communicate. I have, for example, it's another partner, I have capacities to write proposals. I don't know, but all the members and the institutions must make a good team. So what else do you need to know about the evaluation process? European Commission organizes the evaluation and moderates the process. We have independent observers who check the functioning and running of the overall process and advise in their report on the conduct of the fairness of the evaluation session, and if necessary, suggest possible improvements. Ethic overview take places, and for proposals above threshold and consider for funding. Only proposals that comply with the ethical principles and legislation must be funded. Receive funding, sorry.
Well, now we saw all the three criteria, and now we are going how they will be give the score. The maximum overall score is 15, unless a weight is applied. For example, they can give 3.5, 3.4, 4.8. This is important to know that they can give witness when they give the score. Generally, a predefined qualifying score on each criteria and an overall qualifying score need to be achieved. You need to be achieved 3 points in each one of the criteria and 10 in overall qualification score. This is why we saw that number, because 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, not 10. This is not a mistake. The problem that in all the criteria you will have you have to achieve in number 3. They have to give 3 or more, but in the whole project they have to give 10 in all the criteria that they will be scored. Qualifying score might have a variety according to the type of action and between the first and second stage proposal in two-stage procedure. You will see if the proposal or the call that you will be joined or you will be applied is the right word, they will be proceed in 1 or 2 stage. This is the score that the expert will give you to your proposal. Yeah, they will be scored from 0 to 5, and record that they will be they can give half point score, and maybe they will be 2.5 or 3.5. I don't know, but maybe it's the individual expert that they will be give the score. If they give 0 to your proposal or to your criteria, remember that they will be scored all the criteria, excellent, impact, and implementation. If they give 0, the proposal fails to address the criterion, or cannot be assessed due to missing or incomplete information. The problem that this criteria or the proposal have don't have all the information, so they will give 0 to the proposal. If they give 1, they say that is poor, and the criterion is either inadequately addressed, or there are serious inherent weakness. If they give you 2, is fair, and the proposal broadly addresses the criterion, but there are significant weakness. As you remember, 0, 1, 2, these are the numbers that you don't need in the criteria, because you have to achieve the number 3, that is good. And if they give you the number 3 in the proposal on the criteria, the proposal addresses the criterion well, but a number of shortcomings are presented. Number 4 is very good, and the proposal addresses the criterion very well, but a small number of shortcomings are present. And if they give you 5, is excellent, and the proposal successfully addresses all relevant aspects of the criteria, and shortcomings are minor. This is important to know this number, because they will give you, as we will be saw in the next presentation slide. Thank you. And you will saw how they give you the score and how they make all the process to each one of the criteria. In the Horizon Europe program, you have new elements to evaluate. We will have pilots on blind evaluation in first step on 2-stage calls. Anonymized mid-short proposal in first stage. We have pilots on right to rig. They will give you more transparency and more detailed feedback option. And the portfolio based in calls, mission on Pathfinder, and portfolio consideration. These are the new elements that you will have to take in consideration to evaluate the proposal. Well, I joined all the participants and all the attendants to register. Yes, I love it. Register as an evaluator expert. You have to go to the funding and tender. Here you have the, I don't know how to say,
the link.
The link, thank you.
It's really important to know that the invitation from Alejandro, it's really important, but you have to be aware that you must be qualified,
yes,
to be an evaluator expert from the European Commission. If you want to check the conditions, you can see it in the working as an expert. In general, they ask you to have a postdoctorate. So the level of the evaluators, and it's really important for us that the level, the educational level of the evaluators is really high. Yesterday I was mentioning that I know a lot of people in Europe, unfortunately not in person, it's virtually that I know them, but they are like evaluators, but not in the real world from the European Commission. They do the work, but in private work. In terms of, they could be evaluators, they have all the skills and the capacities, but the process in order to be an expert evaluator, it's really competitiveness. You can continue.
I understand what Mike said, but I know that the research from Latin America and Caribbean have the capacity. I know that they will, you will have a high level of experience and you have to
Knowledge.
knowledge, but I think it's something that you can apply because you can join and involve in all this process, and I think it's important to make Latin America and Caribbean in this world of the European Commission. So I know it's not easy, but if you can,
It's not
I invite
impossible.
you. No, exactly. But I invite you all to visit the link and the funding tender and read all the things that the conditions. You have the call for expression of interest for experts. Here you have the condition and what you need to be what you need to be an expert. But I would like to, I understand Maite, I repeat, but I said I will be invited and I think that you have the capacity if you of course have the all the things that they require, but don't worry. And I think it's an important opportunity to you.
Yes, it's really important for two things. In order to, we want to encourage you, but we have to be realistic.
Yes.
And what it's really important to know here that salaries are really competitiveness for us. Why? Because they paid to evaluator European salaries that in general are better than the salaries in this region. So it's a good job opportunity. And also for us, it's really important to know to have more evaluator experts in order to increase the visibility and the capacities that we have here in Latin America and the Caribbean. For that applies that we have to increase our participation in this framework program, because here in these countries we have a lot of really good human resources, a lot of natural resources. We have a lot of really good capacities that we have to encourage to participate as an expert, evaluator, and in the consortiums.
No, yes, of course. This is another possibility that you have. So I think it's a good opportunity. So I invite again and again and again. As we know, you have to be independent, impartial, and objective. This is important that the Commission will be, we will see that you as expert, be impartial and objective and independent. You will have to sign a declaration of confidentiality and documents proving absence of conflict of interest. This is important that you have to know. And as we explained, you have to have a high level of experience and verifiable competency. So you will have to prove what are your capacities.
Here is the link of the funding and tenders that you can find full information about this and about the funding opportunities. You have to, we put it in full words here in order to, if you want to visit now, you can put funding and tenders in Google and it's going to be open the magic web page. And then during the presentation, we are going to have it as links. But it's really important to know, to see the web page in order to visit, explore it, try to read the documents. There's a lot of information, videos, PDF with a lot of. So here, what it's not here in this web page do not exist. I always said in Spanish, and I'm going to repeat it in English. If you need information, it's going to be here. And if it's not here, you have the support, the chat, and the email with the people in Europe who are going to assist you. And I truly said that they are going to assist you. So please visit and got lost in the web page. So in order to start learning more about this program.
No.
So in order to continue with you involved here, we are going to ask you one more question about the criteria of evaluation what do you think, which of the three criteria that we have already mentioned and talking about, which one of the three of them do you think it's the most important in order to evaluate the proposals from Horizon Europe?
Now you have the QR code. If you would like to scan with your cell phone, or you have the number of the code 288607771. I will write in thank you for the one card in the presentation. Now it's important because we can see how many of you are participating in these questions. Now in the chat you have the number of the code, the number code. I will repeat 288607771. We will be waiting 1 minute, I hope. You put a heart? Yes, thank you. Now we are 4. We have 4 hearts.
We invite you to join us, yes, in order not to reply your emails from your work, to be part of this, as everything in these framework programs, it's important to work as a team. Now, today in this webinar and in the real life from Horizon, teams and Synergia, it's the compulsory key aspects and words. So maybe we can start with the...
Yes. It's important to know your answer because we can know what are your requests and work in that for future workshop or future talk, I don't know. You have the question in the cell phone with the screen. Which of these evaluation criteria is the most important? Excellent impact implementation, or everyone equality.
I'm going to spoil that the correct answer, well, now is the winner.
Don't say nothing.
Yes. Okay. The correct answer is everyone. 3 criteria are important with the same proportion. Okay, so evaluators are going to evaluate the excellence, the impact, and the implementation in the same way. Okay, so it's really important for you to, when we finish here, to know that when you write a proposal, you have to be aware of these 3 criteria in the same way. Okay?
Well, now we are going to continue with the presentation. Thank you all the participants that answered the question. And now we will see, thank you, evaluation report and how all the process is. Now we are going to see an extract of an evaluation summary report. Okay? It's an extract for a call of Horizon 2020 that was on water and hydropower issues. We only are going to see the third criteria, that is implementation. We are not going to see the criteria 1 excellent or the criteria 2 impact, but we are going to review all the implementation, and if all the participants would like to give the score to the project, I will be very happy. So make me happy, please. I will be now joined. I will to repeat what are we going to be taken in account when we score the criteria 3 implementation. we will be taking in account the quality and effectiveness of the work plan, including the extent to which the resources assigned to the work package are in the line with their objectives and deliverables. Appropriateness of the management structure and procedures, including risk and innovation management, the complementarity of the participant and extent to which the consortium as whole brings together the necessary expertise, and appropriateness of the allocation of tasks, ensuring that all participants have fair role and adequate resource in the project to that role. Now we will see the summarize of the proposal, or the proposal, no, the score that the individual expert give. The proposal addressed the criterion is very well, and in particular, the work plan is logical and appropriate for effective delivery of the project objective. They say that most of the tasks are sufficiently elaborated, and milestones and deliverables are appropriate for effective project management. Second, they said that the resources allocated to the work package are in line with their objectives and deliverables. And last, they said that the management structure and the procedure are appropriately addressed. The key management body, like committees, and the role and responsibility are appropriately defined. And the relationship between the different body, decision-making mechanisms, internal communication procedure, and quality assurance procedure are appropriately defined. But there are some shortcomings that you have to know to give the mark. Some work package and the constitutiveness tax are insufficiently elaborate. For example, work package 7 and especially the tax 7.2. The risk management is not convincingly addressed. The proposal insufficiently identifies the key technical risks, such as failure during testing or not reaching targets successfully. And the resources to the partner one for the demonstration are not sufficiently justified in the proposal. Then the breakdown of this budget is not convincing, as the proposal turbines to be purchased are not equally identified. As you see, they saw all the project when they give the marks, so they see the budget. So it's important that you take the time to make the project and the budget. Now is the time to give the market. I don't know if someone would like to join and
write it in the chat.
Exactly the number that you will be if you are
if you were an evaluated expert. Which score did you assign to this proposal? You can write it in the chat: 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5.
Or you can give middle number, half number, like 3.5, 4.5. Remember that you can't give this type of number. So if no one writes, or if someone writes, we will see in the break that we have in the next step. Well, in this example, the expert give number 4, or the mark with 4 to this project. As you see, they explain the aspect that they will be taken in account to give the market. They give what is very well done, and that is what right in the proposal. And if you have something wrong or something that you have to be more proactive, they will give you example. But it's important to remember that what Maite said, that the things that are not written writer in the proposal, they don't give the score. So it's important to take the time. So I don't know, I can give no one writes, don't worry, but we will be continued to the next step.
The next step is to have, I don't know what time is in your countries, but as we are talking from since 11, we are going to take a 30-minute break. Please don't leave because we have celebrities from Germany that are going to join us in the after the break, and the chat is disabled. You can please. Okay.
Why?
It's disabled. Put it more in front of the webcam. I can see it. The chat is disabled, and can you please enable
it? Let me check.
Thanks, Luciana.
Yes,
for that.
we will check in the break.
We are going to call IT in order to assist us.
IT department.
Great. And we are going to have a break of 30 minutes. Okay. You can have lunch. You can have breakfast. You can reply your emails. If you want to turn on your cameras now, in order to know your faces. Luciana have already done it. It's Slada. Hello, Slada. Yeah. Hello, Eunice. Hello, Regis. Hello, Marianne. Well, thank you for the people who's turning on your cameras. We are going to see you in 30 minutes. Okay? Bye-bye. Thanks. Hello, Slada. Hello, Anneken. And goodbye. Are you going to leave, Marianne? Okay. Thank you for everything.
You.
And
welcome. Thanks to you. Great session.
Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you.
I'm going to introduce all of you Anneken Rice, who's a colleague from Marianne, from the DLR, and also representative of the service facility. She's going to continue with us, with this great team, and she's going to continue with the work that Mariana has been doing in order to reply the chat. I don't know, if you have any questions, you can ask her. And also you have to remember that if any question could not be replied now, we are going to reply in the future. Also, the chat is available now. We didn't available in the previous session, so now it's open for everyone. And with these words, and if you agree, we can continue with the webinar and with the presentation.
Now we will make a game. A game.
You have to go again with to the Menti, and we are going to make a game. Just a game in order to break the rules and sorry for the Spanish.
And involve all the participants and start with all the energy.
Okay, we are going to ask you some questions for break the ice, for it's just a game, and we are trying to get more people involved after the lunches or the breakfast or whatever you do during these 30 minutes. So you can, as usual, scan the QR code or go log in into menti.com and
put the code number.
Yes.
C8851679. I will write in the chat for all of you. Now you have in the chat the code number to join to this game. And I hope that's all join. You have only 3. I don't know how many of.
We are 30 people in the room, so maybe if you want to play with us, this is not a question of Horizon Europe, don't worry. It's just a game in order to have some fun and come back. Okay, open it, please.
This is the first. Now we will see how many of you join. $11. We will start with the first question. From which country in Europe are the following monuments? This is the first one, and you have to choose option A, B, or C. Option A, Spain. Option B, Greece. Option C, Italy. You have 5 minutes, no, 5 seconds, sorry, not minutes. 2, 1, 0. Fine. The next one, as you will see, is the same question, but the image changed. So the same question, from which countries in Europe are the following monuments? Option A, Germany. Option B, France. Option C, Spain. Third question. From which country in Europe are the following monuments? A, Scotland. B, France. C, Denmark. Or Denmark. Five, one, time up. Very good. Question 4. The same question, and this is the monument. Option A, Spain. Option B, Estonia. And option C, Italy. This is easy. 100%. No, don't worry.
That was me. I'm relying wrong.
The last one, we will see the winner of this game. I would like to see the face of the winner, please. And the last one image, France, option A, B, Spain, C, Germany. 8 seconds. 5, 1, and time's up. Well, we will see the winner.
Wait, who's Regis? I do it on purpose because I know all the questions and it will not be fair to answer them fast and correct.
We would like to see the face of Regis. Who is the winner? Regis. Here is Regis.
Hello.
Congratulations, Regis. And thank you.
Well, let's continue with the webinar. Great, those are the images in
yes,
high
sorry.
definition. We can continue.
Now we will see the proposal application form that the consortium have to write. Here we have example of a structure of Horizon Europe RIA, Research and Innovation Action. Here you have the link for the application form to see in your house with time. We have 2 parts. Part A, that is online, that are all the administrative forms. and part B that have to be uploaded exactly at PDF, and you have to write about excellent impact, quality, and efficiency of implementation. These are the criteria for the score. So you have to be.
You don't have to write about the excellence, the impact. You have to use the criteria that we have already mentioned. Exactly. The excellence, the impact, and the quality and efficiency of the, I don't remember. Okay, but those are the criteria. Please remember the implementation. Thank you.
This is the document that you have in the administrative form, part A. Remember that all are all online, so you have to be complete in the funding tender portal. You have the link in the other page, so you have to click and see all the documents. As you see, you have different sections. Section 1 is general information. Section 2 is information about the participant of the consortium. Section 3 is the budget. Section 4 is ethics and security. And 5 are other questions that you have to answer. In the first document, on the first section is general information. In this section, you have to write the topic, the type of action, the call that you are going to apply, and the type of model grant agreement. You have an acronym that you are going to write. You have to write the proposal title. As you see, they have a maximum of 200 characters. You have to take in account the space and have to be understandable.
Understandable. And the power of, in a few words, for here and for all the documentation, to give your information, all the information, the important information, in a few words, it's really important. In all the process of the documentation, of the negotiation with the different partners in order to be part of the consortiums. So resume, it's one of the key aspects here.
And remember that the things that are not right in the proposal, they're going to be scored. So please write and be careful with this part of the step, sorry, not part of the step of the proposal. You have to write the direction of in month of the project. You have to fix keyword. If you write water, they will give you extra, but if you need more word, they have space for keyword that you can write. There you have an abstract that you should provide information about the objectives of the proposal, the achieve, and the relevant information about the work program. And you have to summarize all the evaluation process, please, and give information about the participant, but you have to summarize. It's not important. This is the first step, and they give all the most important information. Then you have to complete all the participants that will be take part in the consortium. Participant organization name, number 1, 2, 3, depending on the number of the organization that will be take part, and the country of them. Then you have to provide information about the researchers that are involved in the proposal. You have to write the title, the first name, the last name, remember, the quality in all the projects, not only here and in the part of the investigate. You have to take in consideration the quality, the nationality, the quantity and quality of the researcher, because they have to, you have to write the stage of the career of the researcher. If they are category A, top grade researcher, senior researcher is B, recognized researcher, or D, stage researcher first. The role of the researcher in the project and the reference, and the type of identifier. This is important. Maybe this part will be the institution will join not the leader of the consortium, but maybe not. The consortium will have to read all this form and be involved in this part too.
Well, it's important to know that every member of the consortium, each institution has to fill the documents. So maybe if the consortium has 10 institutions, there are going to be 10 forms equals. And you have to check all the information in the forms that it's completed and completed in the correct way. But we are humans. We maybe are watching the presentation or we are watching the documents, and as we were working in the documents for a long time, we can see information that is wrong and our eyes are tired. So you have to remember again to work in teams, to remember that the consortium coordinator is going to recheck information, but I remember that we are humans, we can make human mistakes, so it's really important to check the information once, twice, and the amount of times that it's allowed in order to complete all the information in the correct way. Okay.
Continue. Now you have to complete the role of participating organization in the project. If you are project manager, if you are civil society representative, if you are the research performer, if you are the technology developer, you have to complete all the information. Then you have a list of 5 publications that you have to write, type of achievement, a short description of the achievement, including a short qualitative assessment of the impact and the objective. Then you have more information to complete. Don't worry. This is 5 most relevant previous project or activity that the participants have, and description of the infrastructure that and technical equipment and relevant that will be relevant to the proposed work. It's important you name the infrastructure of the equipment and give a short description.
In that case, it means, for example, research infrastructure, name of the research infrastructure. And if you use, for example, a microscope, you have to put the name, the type of microscope, I don't know, the year, the codes that people who know about that know that you are going to use that kind of microscope.
Then the gender equality plan, you have to write yes or no. Does the organization have a gender equality plan? Covering the element list below, you have to read and you have to complete yes or no. This is important and they will be taken into account. The budget of the proposal. Now you have to complete all for each participant. You see participant 1, 2, 3, 4, and depend of the task that the participant have in the consultant, they will be the budget. It's important to say that the budget you have to talk previously to complete this form, but you have to write all the money that you need to be involved and make your task. And it's important that if you give less money, if you write less money that you need, you can
ask in the future for more money.
More questions.
And the amount of money that each member of the consortium will have, it's negotiated into the consortium depending on the work that each one will have to done in the life of the project, and you have to be aware that you must include everything. I don't know, if you are going to make studies, the implements that you need for the studies. If you are going to make a study abroad your country, you have to include tickets, hotel, all the information. It's really important. So it's really important to check every single item.
Now you have part 4, ethics and security. You have to read and write yes or no, and you have to identify the page that you have to do this activity or not. For example, does this activity involve human embryonic stem cells, or does this activity involve human participant? You have to write yes or no, and you have to identify the page. Then you have other questions for 2-stage calls that you have to put a list here, and they will give you the possibility to write all the information that you need.
So, as we can see in the previous example, we are going to see the structure of a Horizon Europe research and innovation action. Part B of the research and innovation actions are going to be evaluated as part A. The 3 criteria are excellence, impact, and quality and efficiency of the implementation. What this means, I think I previously mentioned that the normal, common limit of pages in this kind of projects, it's 45 pages. So you have to remember that pages that are not included here, if you put 46 pages, page 46, it's not going to be read by the evaluators. So all the information must be in the 45 pages. That's the first step and really important. Also, the structure of the part B. What excellence means. Excellence means that evaluators are going to read and evaluate the objective and the ambition of the project that you are proposing to the evaluators, to the European Commission. The methodology that you use must be excellent. The impact of your project means that the project pathways to impact, the measures to maximize impact, the dissemination and exploitation communication. As you can remember, we mentioned a lot of times this point that it's really important. And of course, the summary. And finally, the quality and efficiency of the implementation means the work plan and resources. You have to include a real work plan and the real human resources and resources that you are going to use in the project. So this means, for example, you have to involve human resources that are capable of and have the skills to do the things you want to do, okay? And finally, the capacity of the participants and consortium as a whole. As I mentioned the whole time, this is a team. We are a team now. Consortiums are teams. So the capacity of the participants who work in interdisciplinary equipment, to work with people in other countries, to work with people that speaks different languages than our language, different cultures, different professional profiles, but this is my personal thought, but I think different professional profiles, they complement each other. It's really important to work with different kind of people, with different kind of views from the life and the things, because you are going to do good things. So now we are going to show you different tools. The first one is how to register my organization in the funding and tenders. Why? Because to start all this, you have to exist as an organization in the funding and tenders. And PIC, what that means, the PIC, it's the identifier of your institution in the funding and tenders. That means your passport number, for example, okay? So how you register your organization here? First of all, you have to log in, you have to go to the web page, sorry. And then, as you can see here, you have to go to register your organization. And then you have to sign in order to continue with this process. Please, and it's really important here, that email that you use, it is an institutional email. Why? Because sometimes human resources change their works and do not belong anymore to the institution, but the institution, yes, the institution continues on the time. So maybe if you have the external relation department of the University of blah, 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 at gmail.com, I don't know, it's an example, you use the general email of your institution and an easy and rememberable password. And of course, when you log in and create your profile institution, try to keep the email and the password in a safety place, because a lot of people got lost, and you can recover your user and your profile, but it's a long process. It's not impossible, but it's easier if you have information at your hand, okay? So after you put your email, you are going to receive an email that you, with a web page that you click, and then you finish the process uploading completing the information that the funding and tenders ask you for. Finally, after you do that, you have to go to the part of register your organization. And then, okay, you register your organization, but here it's another tool that we are going to see it in the future, but I'm going to explain it now. You can use the part that says, is your organization already registered? Pick search. Why did you do that? Because maybe your organization, it's already registered. So you click on search a PIC, and that appears two parts, one from country and one from the name. You can put, we are here at the Uruguayan Agency for International Cooperation, located. So maybe I put agency and country Uruguay. And it's going to appear the Uruguayan Agency for International Cooperation and maybe other agencies. If we do not appear in the funding and tender, that means that we do not have a profile here. Why it's important to use this tool? Because maybe you want to work with an institution that it's a friend institution in Spain, for example. You are in Jamaica, hope the Jamaican colleague is still here, and you want to work with the Ministry of Science and Universities from Spain. Okay, you are going to check if the ministry has a profile in funding and tender. So you have to filter by Spain and ministry, and then appears all the ministries of Spain that has a profile. And in the profile of the institutions, they show the experience in the different framework program that the institution have, the programs and the consortiums they were part of, the colleagues from the different consortiums. So it's like a resume of the organizations. So it's a really good tool in order to take in consideration in the moment of find partners for my proposals. The last thing is that I invite you, and it's really important that you use this opportunity now in order to exchange your information here in the chat. Not with us, you can exchange it with us, of course, but with the colleagues that are here now. Why? because all of you are potential partners. And with this, we keep on going. So now we are decoding a call.
Before start with the part of core decoding, we have to know some words that is important. You know, is fundamental, I prefer to say. First, you have to know the word critical risk. What is a plausible event or issue that could have a high impact on the ability of the project to achieve its objective. You have to identify the likelihood to occur, if it is low, medium, or high, and is the level of severity, low, medium, high, and how you are going to achieve this risk. Then you have to know what is a deliverable. It's a report that is sent to the commission or agency providing information to ensure effective monitoring of the project. It's important to know that there are different types of deliverables, report on specific activities, on result, data management plan, ethic or security requirements. The impact is a long-term effect on society and you have to take in consideration the environment, the economy, the science, and the investment for long term. It's referred to the specific contribution of the project to the work program and what is the expected impact described in the destination. It's important in impact that you have to know that this type of impact occurs sometime after the end of the project, but you have to take in consideration a right in the proposal. Then a milestone is a control point in the project that helps to chart progress. It can correspond to the achievement of a key result, allowing the next phase of the work to begin. Then you have the objectives that are the goals of the work performed with the project. In terms of research and innovation content, will translate in the project results. Then you have the outcomes that are the expected effects over the medium terms of the project and support under a given topic. This should contribute to this outcome, in particular by the dissemination and exploitation measures. Then you have to know what is a pathway to impact. Is a logical step toward to the achievement of the expected impact of the project over time, in particular beyond the duration of a project. Then you have the research output that are the results generated by the action to which access can be given in the form of science publication, data, or other engineered outcomes and processes such as software and algorithms. Finally, you have the result, that's what is generated during the project implementation. This could include, for example, know-how, innovation, solution, algorithm, proof of new business model, policy, recommendation, guidelines, prototype, demonstrate, database, data set, all kind of these things that you now see. And TRL is the technology readiness level that we saw in the first step of this presentation.
Okay. Now we are going to try to teach you how to find the different calls and read them, analyzing them. So first of all, you have to go to the funding contenders and you have to go to search funding contenders, the yellow one. So you have to do some filters because here in the funding contenders are all the programs of the European Commission and European Union in terms of international cooperation. So it's not only the information from Horizon Europe, Erasmus, for example, it's here, So you have to do the filters. First of all, if you want to see the calls that are open nowadays, you have to click on calls open. Behind the arrows, you will find the forthcoming projects. So it's important sometimes if you see that you don't have many time in order to join a consortium, but you want to start working here, you can start right now to look on the future calls in order to start all the job that implies, meaning like looking for the partners. The first step, it's looking for the partners and the consortium. And then you have to write a proposal and do all the work. But the most important is to find a consortium. So the first step, it's the calls that are open or the forthcoming. Then you filter Horizon Europe, and then we invite you to filter the international cooperation calls, the calls who promote international cooperation. Why? Because these calls, if they have partners from outside the Europe, from third member countries, they are more not more evaluated. They have high higher points in their qualification because they are promoting international cooperation. So when you do that filter process, we do it like 2 weeks ago, I can't remember, 1 week ago, I think. This is the information that 1 week ago appears. 106 calls that were open last week that they promote the international cooperation. So you can see them now, and we are going to read one of those. So how you read a call? First of all, you have to search it. Then you are going to read the topic ID. Why it's important to know the topic ID? Because as you can remember, in the documents that you have to fill, you have to put the topic ID. The call, you have to put also the code in the forms that you are going to complete. And then you read the open date and the deadline. Deadline, it's really important because when we are part of a consortium, we negotiate with the partners to be part of the consortium. We find a leader of the consortium, a coordinator. We write our proposals. We do all the work. Coordinator must upload all the information. The day before, it will be perfect, but coordinator could not upload information on the 22nd of September, for example. The deadline is the 21st of September. So information uploaded after the deadline will not count. Then we read the topic description and the destination. What does mean the topic description? Basically, it's the objective of the work we are going to do, and the destination means that all the things we have to do during the life of this project and proposal in order to finish our project with successfully. Then, how to continue deconstructing the text of a call. First of all, we have particular conditions that it's the main information about the call, the expected results that what is supposed to be achieved, and the scope. The scope presents what exactly is expected to be done. So maybe, I don't know what Anneken says, and think about it. Anneken, are you there?
I am.
Okay, hello. Do you want to make the coffee break now, 5 minutes, and then we continue?
For me, it's fine either way. I just joined, so I'm still fresh and full of energy. It's more about you, I think.
Silke, our next colleague who's going to join, the next presenter. I want to be on time with her.
I just had a chat with Silke and she was fine, so there's no problem.
Okay, maybe we can continue in order to finish earlier, okay?
One
So-
question, Silke is in the webinar.
Silke was participating as well.
Because
Silke,
I have to add as co-hoster because to start now.
yes, it's SG, Silke Gunde. There she is.
You see?
S.
SG.
No. Silke.
Silke.
Okay.
Silke.
Now, yes.
Silke, do you want to introduce yourself now or later? As you can.
I will do it later.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let's continue.
Oh, wait. No.
Okay. Now we are going to learn or tell you how to find partners. There are many possibilities to find partners and tools, but the most important is our contacts. Our contacts around the world, our friends from work life, our friends from university. This is the first message when you identify a call that you want to apply. The first message, the first WhatsApp message or the first email that you have to send is to your friends. And then, in order to continue trying to involve you here, we are going to ask you another question that is, with which countries of the European Union would you like to cooperate? So you have to go again, sorry, to the menti.com and you have to reply. It's just a game. You have three options here. It's not only one.
And you can choose which country you would like to cooperate.
There are not all the European countries,
Exacto.
so you can put others.
And if you write others, please write in the chat with which country you would like to
Cooperate.
exactly. Well, here you have the code, all the code, the number. I will write in the chat and put in the chat for you. Thank you, Anneken. You're perfect. Thank you. And the QR code. Wait 1-2 seconds to add. Now we will start with the question. With which country of the European Union would you like to cooperate? Remember what Maite said, that you can choose 3 options, or 1 or 2, what
There's
you
one in
prefer.
blank.
Yes, it's true.
Here, Spain always it's the winner, but you have to remember here when you answer this question is to identify the skills of your partners from the different countries. For example, I don't know, if in Spain there are good research centers for the thematic of your call. Okay, I want to work with a research infrastructure in Spain, with a space center research infrastructure in, I don't know, Italy, for example, in Germany, with a hospital in Portugal, with a NGO in Croatia, I don't know, or with a governmental institution, or with a company, a private sector company, an SME. You can work with all the countries around Europe. It's important to know also that consortiums are well watched if they don't have like a lot of partners from the same country. They could have, for example, 3 partners from Spain, but from different sectors. That would be ideal. It's important the representation, the different kind of languages, experience. This is international cooperation, so we have to be well represented. Well, Spain always is the winner.
But now we have Germany
also.
with the same
No,
number.
yesterday was the same number. Portugal appears today, and Sweden and others, and Greece.
Belgium.
Great. So this is
Thank
a different public from the previous webinar, maybe language for communication.
I don't know what you're going to say with that, Paulita.
Paulita, what do you mean with maybe language for communication?
Please write in the chat.
No, I think Paulita, she sent me a WhatsApp. She didn't have the Zoom code. She has joined us recently, but Paulita, it's important to know that we are going to send you all the information when this webinar finishes. We are going to send you the presentation, and of course, as usual, you can talk with us and ask all the questions you want to. Well, in Horizon Europe, there are new areas, not different, but new areas from Horizon 2020. So the areas are those 17 that you can see it in the screen. Also, for each area, countries nominate NCPs. NCPs are the national contact points for each area. NCPs are people who must, and it's ideal to do the thing that we are doing now, to communicate information, to disseminate information in their countries, to disseminate opportunities, to encourage national institutions to be part of this program. So this is another tool for partner search. Why? Because national contact points are our partners in this process of looking for partners. You can contact in the funding and tenders. I'm not going to spoil myself. In the funding and tenders, you can search all the NCPs from around the world. Information that it's not here nowadays, it's because the process of nominating the new national contact points from this 9th framework program, it's now in process. So maybe some countries, they do not nominate yet their national contact points from people from Caribbean countries, from Latin American countries, and who represent a governmental institution. We invite you all to nominate your national contact points. If you do not, if you have not do it yet, of course you can contact us and we can assist you in that process. But it's important to know that here it's all the information. When you click on contact the name of the person, it's going to appear the email of the NCP, and you can ask by email to that person if she or he knows institutions in Uruguay, for example, or in Spain, or in Italy, or in the country that you are interested of, that are going to be part or are trying to be part of a consortium for the specific call, and you put the name of the call. Another partner search tool. It's, as you can remember, we were watching a call. This is the down part of the same call. And this is a tool into the funding and tenders. The funding and tenders allows you, if you have your profile already uploaded, to manifest your interest to be part of the consortiums that are going to be formed for this specific tool. So you identify the call, you go down into the call and you put, I'm interested in, and you complete some information, and your information, it's going to appear in the number of 54 as part of the 54. And what it's going to be appear? This is the information that it's going to appear apart from your profile information. Your profile information, it's going to appear here. When you put actions, you click in actions, you can see the profile of the institution, that it's bigger than the information, show it there, and contact the institution. Why it's important to put, when you manifest your interest in the specific call, why it's important to put the information that you are watching here? Because for each specific call, you are going to do different things. You will have different skills and experience that it's important to show here. This is like the brief of the brief. And I always mention that for me, it's really important to put an email here. Why? Because it's easier to contact the institutions. Of course, you can click in the actions and watch the institutional profile that is bigger, has more information than this one here. And also, if you click on connect to the institution, send a message, you can send a message, but the information that we are going to see, it's like a blank square that you can fill information, and you don't see the email that you are sending the information. That's why it's really important for me to put an email. Also, another tool for search partners are the thematic networks. The thematic networks are networks that are in the previous framework program. They were financed by Horizon 2020. And the idea of them is a lot of ideas. They do a lot of work. First of all, they are the ones who know all the calls in those specific areas. For example, for health, they have the calls that are open nowadays in their issue in health. Also, if you subscribe to their web pages, there are a lot of networks who send you the information of institutions around the world who manifest their interest in being part of the different consortiums in the area of health, for example. So if you enroll your profile to the different networks, you are going to receive good information and important information in order to find partners. Also, another thing that they do, they compile information, and then that it's, for example, the results of the different projects, they have like a database, and they try to make books, for example, small books, easy to read for the common people that we are not science, in order to make us part of this. Why? Because if we understand the things that are being done by the framework programs, we are going to be more involved. We are going to understand what is the European Union doing, what means the international cooperation. So this is a really good tool in order to, you have to enroll them. Nowadays, some of the networks are not their web page are not more available, but I'm pretty sure that in this new framework program, they are going to finance new networks. So we are going to have 17 networks, hope so, in order to work with them and use them as our reference and friends. And finally, and not for that less important, Anneken, it's going to present the last tool in order to find partners, that it's the Enrich network. Anneken, are you there?
Thank you, Maite. Yes, I hope you can hear me.
The floor
Good
is
morning.
yours.
Good morning and good afternoon to everybody. It's great to see still so many participants. I hope you have some energy left to absorb some more information. So I would like to present to you this initiative called Enrich. Enrich is the European network of research and innovation centers and hubs. And there are actually more than one initiative. It's a network. I am going to talk to you about the Enrich in Latin America and the Caribbean network, but there are also sister projects in the US, in China, India, and Africa. It's an initiative funded by the European Commission. Next slide, please, Alejandro. So you see the European Commission is tending towards a global network because, as I said, there are several initiatives worldwide already. So what is Enrich in Luck? As I said, it's funded also by the European Union. It's a 3-year project at this moment. It had a predecessor project, Enrich in Brazil, which was started, and it's now Enrich in Luck. And the objective of this project is to promote collaborative opportunities for business and innovation players of Europe and Latin America and the Caribbean region. What does Enrich in Luck do? We do provide consulting, networking, and training services, always with the aim to connect and support companies, universities, researchers, innovators, startup, any actor on the innovation chain from both continents. And Enrich in Luck also has thematic focus. This is to contribute to green and digital transition. And we have 5 major thematic priorities, which you can see here. It's health, bioeconomy, renewable energies, sustainable urbanization, and digital transformation. But it's not exclusively these areas. If you have questions towards or regarding other topics, you can always also contact Enrich and ask for support. But these are the most challenging and most important at this moment. Next slide, please. Here you can see the regional map. In the beginning, I said that Enrich is a project, but Enrich in Luck in Latin America and the Caribbean is very special because we managed to fund an association, a non-for-profit association, to guarantee sustainability to this project even beyond the project lifetime, so that this initiative does not end when the project itself ends, but that it may continue for, hopefully for forever, to provide different services to the communities. And these services we are providing are executive education courses and capacity building, also solution and access to funding. And very important, and that's what I'm going to talk about now, is the networking and matchmaking, what we offer. Because Enrich in Luck does have an own platform. It's called the Europe, Latin American, Caribbean Networking and Matchmaking Platform for RTI, Research, Technology and Innovation. And on this platform, I'm going to share the link later on in the chat. You can register for free. There is no cost involved at all. And don't be scared, because here in the green field, it may be too small to be read now, but it says open until next year only. This is not true. It's just because of the provider at this moment. This platform will be open throughout the lifetime of the initiative. So here you see two headers, it's participants and marketplaces. I'm going to present these soon, but you can also see below the globe on the left that we, for example, show open calls on this page. So you can also enter the page, the platform, to inform yourself about any open calls that could be of interest. So please, the next slide. This is a screenshot from the participants area. At this moment, we count around about 120 participants who have been registered. And you can filter these participants when you look for somebody from a special area or a special continent region. You can filter, for example, participation types. It's with regard to the region where they come from, Latin America, Caribbean, or Europe. Organization types, what are you looking for? A startup or university? Areas of activity, which area, biotechnology, health, whatsoever. And you can even filter by countries if you're looking for a partner in a specific country. Next, please. You can also access the marketplace to see what kind of offer is there at this moment. For example, you can look for products being offered, for services being offered, and I activated the filter for project cooperation in this case. You can see that at this moment there are 4 offers from scientists who are offering cooperation in their research projects. One here from Italy, you can see another from Brazil. So here you can always look concretely for what you are looking for. And the next slide will show you what a profile looks like. You can upload, of course, a picture, the logo of your institution, a short abstract about your institution. And then you can also add products. You see this on the left. Products, for example, you're offering services, you're offering project cooperation. When you are building up a consortium and you're looking for further partners, maybe with a specific target or something they could offer. For example, if you're looking for a partner in a country rich in biodiversity for your project, whatsoever. You can enter your expertise, what you can offer. And there's the last one, request. If you are looking for somebody or for some solution, you can also paste this here so that people can filter and find you easily. Next slide, please. This platform does also offer you the possibility for virtual meetings for free. So if you have identified a participant which could be interesting for you, please feel free. You can just schedule a meeting, contact her or him, and schedule a meeting and meet on the platform directly. So this is our B2b platform. Please, I will paste this link. I really encourage you to register yourself. You all know that such a platform lives from all the participants, from all the members that registered. As I said, it's free of charge. If you enter the Enrich in Luck homepage, I'm also going to paste this website. There is a section member, become a member. That does mean become a member to the association, which is which has a cost. But the registration to the platform for matchmaking is absolutely free and will stay for free. So this was my part, and I'm now very happy to hand over to my colleague from DLR, Silke Gundel, who will now talk to you about the last point in this training for today. The floor is yours, Silke.
Thank you. So hello, everybody. Also from my side, a warm welcome. And thank you for inviting me to your today's seminar. I'm very happy to be here. And short introduction to me. My name is Silke Gundel, and I'm a biologist by training. and I work as a scientific officer at the project management agency at the German Aerospace Center in the Department for European Research Programs. I hope you're fresh enough for the last part with dry and hard stuff concerning the proposal template, and I try to give you some information about the quality and efficiency of implementation of the proposal template. Okay, so to have a stable connections, at this moment I will switch the camera off, but later on I will be with you again. Okay, so you have already seen this slide. You're hopefully familiar with this. It's the structure of a Horizon Europe research and innovation action. My colleagues, Maite and Alejandro, told you about the part A, the online form. Yeah, this is the part of the proposal which is generated by the IT system, which is based on the information that is entered by the participants through the submission system in the funding and tenders portal. That's also you've been introduced in this portal. So the participants can update the information in this submission system at any time before the final submission. And the second part, the part B of the proposal, is the, let's say, narrative part, the storytelling part of your proposal. And you have to use the instructions within the template, and you can download this template in the submission system for specific calls and topics. So the part B is at the very end. Oh, okay. That was too fast. Is an PDF document that must be uploaded when you submit your proposal. So I can show you right now an example of a template, and there might be a slightly difference from this example to the specific one you will use, because the templates are specific for each call and topic. Yeah, and it is very important that the structure of this template must be followed when you prepare your proposal. It was designed to be sure that all the important aspects of your planned work are presented in a way that will enable the reviewers, the experts, to make an effective assessment against the evaluation criteria you've been presented before by Maite and Alejandro. And so the sections 1, 2, and 3, excellence, impact, quality, and efficiency of implementation, correspond to an evaluation criterion. So be aware that the proposals will be evaluated as they were submitted and not on their potential if there certain changes can be made. This is something very important. That means that only proposals which successfully address all required aspects will have a chance of being funded. So there is no possibility for significant changes to the content or to the budget or to the consortium composition during the grant preparation. This is something you must be aware. And please have also in mind the page limit. Yeah, you have these 45 pages for a full proposal in total, and all the tables and figures and references and all the elements must be included in these 45 pages. And because this page limit will apply automatically, and the proposal is a self-contained document, and the experts are also instructed to ignore hyperlinks that contain information which is, let's say, specifically designed to expand the proposal. It's not allowed, and they will ignore this. This is also something that might be helpful to know for you. Okay, so the next slide shows us in an overview again the three parts, the three sections of the part B of our proposal. It's the excellence, impact, quality, and efficiency of the implementation. And on the next slide, did you change the? Okay, so okay, there was something in between. So we are not right now talking about the quality and the efficiency of the implementation, right? So we will have a closer look on this section B.3, and this part has two sections. The 3.1 part, here are missing the numbers, but if you have a look on the proposal template, you will find these numbers. The first section is the work plan and resources, and the maximum is 14 pages, including all the tables. And section 3.2 is about the capacity of participants and the consortium as a whole. And here you have maximum 3 pages available. As I told you before, all the tables and figures and references must be included in this page limit. And the content of this chapter of the proposal is about the quality of your work plan, if you have an appropriate resource planning, and you have to show that you have a carefully assembled consortium. That brings together the necessary skills for a successful implementation of the project. On the next slide, we can dive a little bit deeper into this 3.1 part about the work plan and the resources. So what has to be written in this section? This section contains the description of a project plan and the structure with matching resource planning. So when you write your proposal, there are some guiding questions that you should have in mind. So these guiding questions could be something like, what work packages can my project be divided into? What needs to be done? What do I need for what part of my project? When will which part be done? That's going in the direction of the time planning. And how much of what is required? That means how is the resource planning? And last but not least, how do the work packages interact? And it makes the life easier for the reviewers if you illustrate the information with charts or graphics. Yeah? So time planning, for instance, is can be shown via a Gantt chart, or even their components can be illustrated with these graphics, but also deliverables and milestones can also be defined and be shown via charts. Yeah, the next thing is how to approach the development of such a project plan, or how to structure such a project. First of all, you should briefly describe the overall structure of the work plan and the interactions of all the individual work packages. That is meant with table 3.1a. Next is a detailed description description of the individual work packages. If necessary, you can also mention the involvement of other bodies, for instance, advisory boards in this part, and this is table 3.1b. And next step is to make a list of deliverables. Deliverables are, as you've learned from the glossary before, that are products or output results, something like this. The next slide shows us the next steps within the proposal template. The next step is to make a list of the milestones, and milestones are control points concerning the time schedule. And this is table 3.1d. Include also a list of critical risks for your project. This is very important in the context of risk management, because the evaluators want to know that how you plan to mitigate the risks of your projects. You should also show the number of person months you need for each work package. This is table 3.1f. And if applicable, describe and justify subcontracting costs in section 3.1g, or also, if applicable, do the same for purchase costs and other costs in table 3.1i. So for every part you've seen or learned right now, there are own tables in the proposal template that must be used. And I will show you in the next slide some examples. Okay, so here we have the table for the list of work packages. So base your proposal on the logical structure of the project and all the stages in which it is to be carried out. So the number of work packages, you have here a column with a numbering of the work packages on the left-hand side. This number should be proportionate to the scale and complexity of the project. And you should give enough detail in each work packages to justify the proposed resources to be allocated, and also quantified information so that the progress of the project can be monitored. We always advise to include a distinct work package on project management, and to give you visibility in the work plan to data management. Another work package should be dissemination and exploitation, as well as communication activities. Okay, so the next slide. Here you have on the right hand the table for the work package description. So our advice is treat your distinct work packages like small sub-projects within the whole project. Set a goal and a work package leader for each work package. You should name each participant of the work packages here in this table, and give information on the calculated person months per participant and when the work package will start and end. Then there is a section about the objectives. What should be written in this part? Here it is. Here we advise to formulate clear and realistic goals, and they should be formulated briefly and concisely. So we recommend a main objective and appropriate sub-objectives. So give the whole thing a structure. And it's clear that these objectives should be consistent with the project objectives. that you have mentioned under chapter 1.1. The next section in this table is the description of work. Here it is important to write a concrete description of the tasks that have to be carried out to achieve the project objectives in an understandable form that allows the review panel to make an assessment of the quality, but also of the feasibility of your planned work. And it is also necessary to define the partners that are responsible for the individual tasks. So yeah, you can differ between task leader and yeah, a type of colleague within the task. And the last section, there is something about the deliverables. In this case, you should define your deliverables as an, yeah, let's say an intermediate result, and ensure that and that the designation and numbering of the deliverables is uniform and consistent. And another thing is that in the regular reports of your project, these achieved deliverables should also be described, and all deliverables have to be listed separately. This is the next table on the next slide, the table 3.1c. This is the list of the deliverables. Sorry. So here you need to list all the deliverables of each work package here separately. And you have also to be aware that each deliverable that you list here must also be delivered at the specific time. This is something that is interconnected. And yeah, it's clear that you have to ensure that the numbering is also uniform and consistent. And when you fill in the dissemination level on the second on the right side, please note that your entries will have an effect on the project implementation, yeah, concerning the continuous reporting about your project. Okay, now we can go to the next slide where we can see the list of the milestones. This is table 3.1d. And yeah, concerning the milestones, I'd advise you to divide, yeah, what is the, yeah, for what are these milestones necessaries? They divide the project into crucial stages and, yeah, intermediate goals. And milestones are not deliverables. So you have to keep in mind these, the glossary with all the definitions. You can check what is the difference between a milestone and a deliverable. And a milestone defines intermediate steps of a project. Yeah? They are manageable in a number, and they mark turning points in a project. And if you formulate them, you should formulate them as an event, something like prototype completed or prototype validated. That's an example for a milestone. The achievement of the milestones must be proven, and we recommend that you also enter these milestones in the Gantt chart when you illustrate your project plan. Then we have next the table 3.1e. This is about the critical risks for the implementation. And yeah, you may think, what could critical risks be for my project and or for the implementation of my project? This could be internal project risks and hurdles that affect the management as well as the implementation of your project. And an example might be a failure of a partner, or progress that cannot be made, or experiments that do not work, something like this. And here you should propose measures to mitigate the risk so that you are able to handle these risks. On the next slide, we are at table 3.1F. It's the one at the top of the slide with the headline summary of staff effort. And here you should make sure that the distribution of the person months between the project partners is adapted to the tasks. So the evaluators assess value for money, yeah, and they check if the partners and the finances have, if they are appropriate and reasonable with the contribution. This is very important to have in mind. The table 3.1G is about the subcontracting costs. And here it is important to know that core activities are not allowed to be subcontracted. Only smaller and not that important activities or tasks. And last but not least, we have the table 3.1H, the purchase costs. Examples for purchase costs are, for instance, travel costs or equipment. And you have to fill in this table only if the purchase costs exceed 15% of the personnel costs for that participant. Okay. And there is something mentioned, other goods, works, and services. And some of you may wonder, what is this? And examples for that could be consumables or publication costs or costs for test certificates or translations, something like this. Okay, I think now should be the slide about the evaluators. Could this be? Can I have the next slide? Yes, thank you. Okay, so if you have written and submitted your wonderful proposal, it is very important to know what are the evaluators are looking for. So there are several issues where they pay their attention on. It's very important is the impact and the description of the impact, but also the key performance indicators or the innovation capacity, and as well as the competitiveness of your industrial partners. So I have some general advice for you how to tackle these challenges when you write your proposal. So first of all, there is the part of the comprehensibility of your proposal. So from our perspective or in our experience, evaluators often have to deal with many applications in a short period of time. And we therefore recommend that you explicitly name and clearly emphasize the things that are really important. So use bold types, colored frames or bullet points, and make a structure within and make your proposal comprehensive so that the important aspects can be quickly read by the reviewers. And it is also helpful if you use the wording or the keywords from the topic text so that it is directly recognizable which topic requirements are addressed in your proposal. And When you write your proposal, please have also in mind that not all of the reviewers are specialized in every scientific discipline, and that the explanations you use should also be plausible and comprehensible for a non-specialist for your field. Coming back to this part of the illustrations, I spoke to some of the experts, and they told me meaningful illustrations are extremely valuable and important because they provide a quick overview of the project. And if you make some of these illustrations and graphics in your proposal, please be sure that they are readable, even if they are printed in black and white. This is something you have to keep in mind, and do not make these fancy arty-farty colorful pictures. You cannot see any difference if you print it in black and white. Concerning the references, we were also very often asked how to deal with this issue of the references. Yes, you can put references in the footnote, but a Horizon Europe proposal is not a scientific publication, yeah? And therefore the references should be used sparingly. So at these points of the text, when the project goes beyond the state of the art. So minimal references are needed, especially for central core statements, or if a hypothesis is put forward in this case, but not the fully amount as you have it in a scientific publication. And very, very important is the structure. Stick to the structure of the proposal template. Please do not add any additional heading or something like this. The reviewers expect the relevant information in the places that are provided. So do not waste space. You have this page limit with documents that are not required. For example, there are no letters of support or letters of interest are requested. So these 45 pages are very tight to meet all the requirements of the proposal template. So use it in an efficient way. So there are two last slides left. The next one is, and the two last ones are the section B 3.2, and it is about the capacity of the participants and the consortium as a whole. So in this section of the proposal, the quality of the consortium is assessed. So the capacity and the role of each participant and the extent to which the consortium as a whole brings together the necessary expertise. So you should describe the interaction of the consortium as a whole thing. So show that your consortium brings together exactly the right partners that are needed to, to achieve the ambition goals of your project. There are also some, there are also some basic questions that you should have in mind when you write this part of the proposal. One is, who is responsible for what and why? So make clear that the whole consortium is more than a mere sum of the individual parts, and show how the partners get access to critical infrastructure to carry out the project activities. It's also very important. Another thing is where and how do you complement each other and create synergies, or bring together a critical mass that makes something possible that could not be solved individually or in a smaller group. So the expert has to recognize why this consortium is the only one who can solve the problem. And you should also explain what is the contribution of each partner to the project. Why are these partners necessary? So this is to make sure that only the necessary ones are on board. And please structure, very important, structure this chapter according to these objectives of your project. And the last slide, there's one thing which is only necessary if applicable. You should describe your industrial and commercial involvement in the project and how the exploitation of the result is ensured. And as one last point that might be interesting for you is the involvement of partners from third countries. You have to know that in general, most Horizon Europe calls are open to participants from non-EU member states and non-associated countries. That means you all, I don't know where exactly are you from today, you're allowed to participate. But this does not mean that you receive automatically EU funding. So to be clear, participants from non-associated or non-EU countries can take part in Horizon Europe actions, but not always with funding. And there are exceptions on this funding issues. There are Horizon Europe calls that are particularly relevant for international cooperation, and they require participation of entities from non-associated and non-EU countries in the funded actions. And if this is the case for your call and your topic, you are eligible to get the funding. In addition to this, there's also a list of low to middle income countries that are automatically eligible for funding. So you should check if your country is on the list. There is a program guide available, and this program guide includes the list. So some examples for countries that are automatically eligible for funding is Argentina, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, Madagascar, Nicaragua, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, or Venezuela. So please check very careful if your country is on this list. And the last option, if your country should not be on this list and no EU member state or no associated country to Horizon Europe, and you don't fulfill the requirements to automatically being eligible for funding, in this case, you can participate on your own cost, or there is, in exceptional cases, an EU funding possible. And in this case, you have to explain in detail why you are so essential for this project. And then the European Commission can decide that you receive a funding. So I hope this was clear at the very end of this long session. And yeah, this was
Thank you.
so I'm brave and test the video connection again. So this was my contribution to your seminar today. And yeah, thank you for staying on board until the end. Yeah, and I hand over to Maite and Alejandro.
Thank you. Your participation was great. And there's the link to the list of countries during the presentation we have already made, and the participants will receive the link with the list of the countries who are available. So don't worry about that. They are going to have all the information. And thank you very much again. So in order to finish here, we are going to continue playing with you, involving you. And these are the two final questions. We want to know if you like this webinar, if it was interesting for you. Silke doesn't have more any voice. She's drinking water and watching you. Are you okay? Great. So this information for us, it's really important. It's important to know if you want to participate in this kind of webinars in the near future. What kind of information do you need to work with us or with other colleagues from around the world? But it's important to know what are you expecting and what do you want to know about Horizon Europe. So again, if you want to participate in this poll, you can use your QR code or the Menti code, the number code for the Menti. That I'm pretty sure that Anneken already put it here.
Yes. As always. Thank you, Anneken.
So
number is 96847345. And now we are going to see. Here is the questions.
what are your greatest needs in order to continue participating in this kind of instances between you and us? And it's always the same question, how to write a proposal. So Silke, prepare to be our friend, because in the near future you are going to work with us. And well, there's a lot of information. It's all the information. It's really important. Yes. So we have to keep on working. That's the resume of this instance. So maybe we can put the other question.
Of course.
And this is the final one. And if you want to stay, we are going to take a picture of all of us. For the final, you can turn on your cameras if you want to, of course.
This is the last one question.
The last question.
This is the last question. Now you have the number of the code number 43846.
Just one person now.
Two.
Well,
I will check. Right. Now you have the question and now you can answer.
Are you interested in continue participating in this kind of activities? I'm laughing because this is the 4th webinar and the answer yes. It's always the winner. Doesn't matter how many audience we have. And it's really good for us, for Anneken, for Silke, for Marianne, and for the European Commission, because we know that we have to continue working here with the Latin American and Caribbean countries and with our institutions in order to encourage. The first thing is encourage you to participate, because yesterday, and I think that today I mentioned, we have the capacities, we have the human resources, we have the natural resources, we want to participate.
The knowledge.
We want to be part of the international cooperation, so contact us. We are here, so we are going to, well, first of all, we are going to thank you for being here today. We are going to stop recording and then, thank you, Reggie.